are starting with the first sign of the zodiac, Aries. Aries is one of the starting signs of the spring equinox. When spring comes, Aries simultaneously takes its place in the sky, according to the tropical zodiac. Aries is the sign of renewal, starting to new thing, the first movement. Of course, since movement continues with the zodiac in a cyclical way towards renewal. Therefore, Aries, there is a mountainous difference between the state of being first and the state of being last, which is when they grow and mature. Anyway, if you pay attention to the horns of the ram, they curve over time. It is a symbol of maturity. And Aries goes through this kind of life experience. Joseph Campbell writes a book called The Hero's Journey, which provides us with a lot of information about ancient research, especially if you are interested in mythology. We depict Aries through the archetype of the hero. Campbell says that the hero is an archetype who first leaves home, who has the ability to do something with courage, but when he returns home again, he returns changed. And this is exactly what the story about Aries taking his place in the sky. Every hero is a potential victim. Many traditional cases we see the words ram and sacrifice together. The story about the Aries is as follows. The Greek king Athamas had two children with the cloud goddess Nephele, called Phrixus and Helle. Nephele, his second wife, children's stepmother, did not want children. Usually in fairy tales, stepmothers have such a situation, and she tricks her husband and says, I don't want these children. She deceives her husband by talking about the epidemic, the difficulties that will come to her homeland if these children grow up. And of course, her husband believes this, and the Greek king Athamas takes the children to the forest where he wants to sacrifice them or somehow destroy them. Meanwhile, Zeus brings down the golden fleece ram from the sky. The golden fleece ram kidnaps the children and takes them away from there. And right on the Hellespont, which is the mythological story that gives the Dardanelles its name, and Phrixus somehow survives. And where he goes, the king gives him his daughter. And Phrixus shows this salvation by sacrificing a ram to Zeus for his thankfulness. And he hangs golden fleece on an oak tree that never dies, never sleeps. Later in this story, there is the story of Zeus with the golden fleece ram, which tells us much more about the Aries, but the sacrifice of the ram is an important point when analyzed up to this mythos. When we look at the zodiac, we see that the 12th house of the Aries is Pisces. So every Aries is actually a potential to become Pisces. Assume that there is a fire in an apartment building. The first person to jump in, the first person to move there with courage will be an Aries, because he acts impulsively. Someone is dying there. And in that sense of justice and right, as a very naive, very brave child, the Aries, the one who takes direct action there. But he will be either the hero or the victim. And if he saves so many people, he'll be a hero even if he doesn't save them. That's different, but Aries can also be a victim. Words about Aries symbolize impulsiveness and first action, pioneering, courage. The Aries woman behaves exactly like this. Maybe you know the Amazons. It is not a very well-known community. We don't know whether the Amazons lived or not, so there is no historical cover. The Amazons have a queen, and it is a community that does not men in any way and uses men as slaves and servants. They use the male children as slaves or mutilate them. The Amazons are even known to have cut off one or even two of their breasts while fighting, according to rumors. The Aries woman perhaps like an Amazon, is brave on her own. But I always want to talk about a duality here. It is always necessary to know this. Sometimes Aries can also be on the side that cannot assert themselves. They cannot act courageously. They may hesitate to put themselves forward. Or maybe Aries is so far ahead that there are many things that the he doesn't see. At these points we can talk about many more tales, myths and legends about the Aries, but we should not forget that Aries is the first person to leave the house and the most transformed person when he returns. It is actually a zodiac sign that has touched that stove many times but wants to touch. Aries has a little difficulty in taking lessons from there, but has the potential to always live like pure child, naive child, the energy of that first spring, the enthusiasm. Maybe we shouldn't be angry with them because, as I said, Aries hides this purity behind it. Aries, as the child of the zodiac, is the most courageous, not hesitating to embark on adventures. That's all about Aries for today. See you in the next video.